Oh, well, there went the exhaust. That's a sign. Hello, and welcome to an episode of BeamNG.Drive. In today's episode, we're going to be checking out the new update. Now, this isn't going to be a completely comprehensive review of every single thing in the update. We're just going to be going over a few things. And the first thing is, we're going to be changing cars. We're actually not going to be using the new vehicle yet. We are going to use it in just a little bit. Not yet. First, we're going to use the ATK 800 series. And we're just going to go for a higher end model like this one. Now that we have this, let's go to the interior. And you can see that we're in Italy, so the roads are super cool. They're really nice. They're really fun. Like just that road right there. Every road has corners. This is not like America at all. America, kind of in a straight line. That's really all we got here in America. In America, we don't really have corners, do we? We just go in a straight line. Now, Italy, this is God's racetrack. Canada's his pantry, Germany's his workshop, and Burma is his garden. And, well, it really shows how this is God's racetrack, because right here we're just on one of Italy's normal roads, but we're still just racing around this ETK here. Now, I think what will make the car a little bit better is that even though when you put it in sport mode, yeah, it does shift pretty fast, but it's really not all that crazy. So, BeamNG has a little solution to that. If we go in here, go to body, and then the engine, you can see, instead of an 8-speed automatic, we can just change that out for an 8-speed dual clutch. And if you know anything about transmissions, you'll know that dual clutches shift much faster than pretty much any type of transmission. And as long as they're engineered correctly, they can still be very smooth and not have a bunch of jolting when you switch gears. And also, they are more efficient too. And so, right now I'm increasing my MHE a lot, but this is Italy, we're supposed to be going fast here. So put it in sport mode, or even if we just put it in drive, you can see that shifting is so much faster. And then if you put it in sport, it's just that much different. It almost completely changes this car. It makes it feel just that much more sporty. Until you die. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing you got a highly advanced car. I mean, you might have survived that. And I'm actually gonna go a little bit back here, and we're gonna turn on this road here. We're turning on this road because this road obviously will have some bumps, and I'm gonna let you listen to the suspension noises now once we hit some bumps. That's a sign. You may have a little transmission issue. I mean, maybe just a little one. Yeah, but you could hear there, if you don't pay attention to that. I'll deal with this. So, you could tell that the transmission, you could tell that the noise of the suspension was much more lower pitched than it was before, and a little quieter, but also, in my opinion, I'd like it a little bit more, but also the cars, for me, are just kind of a different volume that I don't really like. I mean, everything still sounds good, but it's just for me, and personally, I think it's more kind of muted now. Oh, and also, there was this thing where you could literally pull, on all-wheel drive models, which this is, you could actually, like, pull the transfer case down. I'll show you what I mean. So you see how this is the transfer case, right? Well, if it just increased my strength here, and you can still do it. I've completely bent the transmission in. Yep, that's a transmission right there. It should very much totally look like that. Now I wonder, can I pull this down too? Yeah, so now I've pulled the transmission down. I have completely screwed up the transfer case. BeamNG doesn't care. So they still haven't fixed that, and my hazards are, everything is, okay. I'm gonna have to control R this car because, let's get those dash things fixed. Okay, now yes, this is a kind of an older road that we're on right now, and this is, I believe, based back in like pre-war Italy. So everything is just nice. And especially with this dual clutch, which if we put this in manual mode, there are a few changes actually to the dual clutch system in the game just in general. The logic has been improved. Which, honestly, I can't really describe it, but the dual clutch system in this game just feels better. And while we're on the topic of transmissions, and actually this car is handling this really well, even with traction control and everything still on, I've been able to go real fast on this little tiny road. And just put it in park. Right now we're going to go switch out to the Hiroji Sunburst. And we're going to go get this medal. I picked this medal mainly because, well, the only actually reason for this is because it has the CVT. And you'll notice now that when you take off, well, especially on takeoff, you can tell that the CVT just has what I would call a little bit more torque. Even though the engine has the same amount of torque, nothing like that's changed. But in general, the transmission feels like it just has a little more grunt as you take off. I remember before it was a little bit different where the transmission was just kind of all over the place, really. You know, I wonder if this has torque steer. Maybe a little. I mean, it has no power to even torque steer it. But what they've done is they've tuned this for... No. Why is that sign not there? Eh, whatever. Let's go to the left. I was just able to take off with this thing and... Okay. So you can tell that the CVT is tuned for lower RPMs a little better. And why am I using the turn signals? And and right now it's arriving pretty high, but that's because I was just flooring it, but it just feels a little better. Okay, now I have to get out of this piece of junk. And actually, just to show how much I hate this, let me just set up a scenario real quick. Not a game scenario, but you'll see what I mean. Oh yeah, this is what I meant. So the cannon has new roll and fire sounds, and this cannon is bigger than that whole car. Well, I just thought that, you know, someone might want to check out what the fire sounds are, so this would be just a perfect demonstration of what the new sounds are like. So we're going to watch this in normal speed, and then we're also going to use slow motion too. Let's see if I can lower this, so pitch down. Yeah, that's as low as it's going. Okay, bye-bye little CVT piece of... To say the least, it's gone. Well, hello. How are you today? Not so great. Yep, I don't really expect you to be so great, but oh my. You know, I don't think I'd want to be in the backseat of that. The real question is, does this still drive? If it still drives, we have to shoot it again. It still drives. I mean, probably not all that good, but it's what is it doing? That was a little bit high pitch on my part, I'll admit. But holy crap, why? Just why? What is holding that wheel on except... no question. Bye-bye. Oh! Well... Now it looks like I've given birth to a ball. However, I suspect that it won't work. Yes. Good job. Well, to be honest, I don't think this, which is the engine, is ever going to work again. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to this car. And we're first going to go with this one. Okay, here it is in all of its ugliness. Although although it is, I dare to call it sporty because it's not, but it does handle pretty well because it weighs as much as, well, there's probably much as that cannon right there. Because you see here, you know, it has little tiny darty steering, which is exactly what you want for Italy because everyone's racing around in Italy. It's just you can't really race around in this car else it overheats because it is air cooled. It doesn't really have a radiator with a liquid cooling system. And here's this little road. This car was made for just bumping around in Italy, and I believe I might be on the wrong way. See, it's just like the little things about this car. Like that corner, you couldn't have done that in any other thing. And then it just comes around as you go. And it's so amazing. You just gotta make sure you actually do shift, because if you forget and just sit there with your foot down, it does kind of over rev. Like this. And then it makes some weird noises. Although when this thing does over rev, it just backfires like crazy. Listen. But this little car can take corners faster than you would expect for its old crap bias ply tires. Just because it's old doesn't mean it won't be so good. Usually when I think of an old car like this, I think of a big old American car, which will absolutely kill you in any collision, which this will too because the fuel tank's in the front. But also, this thing's air cooled, so I mean, just driving around in Italy, if you're not continuously moving, or if you're flooring it all the time, it will overheat. Right now we're at 207. So I'm just going to let off the throttle a little bit, and hopefully it tries to cool it a little bit. What we don't want is we don't want this little old thing to overheat, do we? Oh no, that would just be horrible. I mean, it only has 60 horsepower. 60 horsepower can't be all that hard to cool. Okay, so we're on this road. If we drive normal, 206, somewhere around there. But if you don't want to do some spirited driving, which I think would be pretty suited for this car, just waiting for it to build up its RPM so that it can actually go. Its first gear is pretty good. It's just after first gear, you lose all your power. Oh, and what's this right here? That's a corner that somehow I just made. How did I just make that corner on this thing? This thing handles better than you would ever expect for a 1960s, 50s car. Okay, so now we're going to go change to the next model in the next configuration. Oh, and I actually forgot to even try and pronounce the name. The Autobello Piccolina. Yep, that's right. And then there's a little bit newer one, which is maybe a little bit more fancy or something. I say it's a little more fancy because it has white walls. Now this is literally the exact same. Just green and it has white walls. So it's better. I'd love to see you go over some speed bumps in this thing. Your spine might not be there anymore. But still, this thing just... Why? And because the engine's in the rear, and this probably does not... Well, this obviously doesn't have perfect weight distribution. You go around a corner a little too fast, you think, oh no, I'm going to crash. But then the rear end just kind of kicks out and pulls you forward. Okay, so since it's just kind of a little bit of a fancy one, let's go to the next car. Next car is this one. It's a later base model with the same engine and a little stiffer suspension, so that your spine likes to kill you a little more. So now let's see how much that stiffer suspension helps here. Oh yeah, you can tell it's stiffer. Just look at when you take off and hit the brakes and stuff. That thing's not really moving as much. Okay. Steering is still 1970s car, but hey, it's decent. Same engine, just stiffer suspension, which, oh yeah, you can feel that. I'd be much happier to rip this around corners than the other ones. And okay, let's go check the next one out. So far, we've just been getting minor changes. Now, this one actually has a little bit bigger of an engine. This is the premium model. And the premium model means you get a 1.3 liter engine. Holy bejesus. Is that even legal? And it has front disc brakes. Holy crap. That's modern. Well, it's modern if you're my grandma. Let's see if this thing can do its little burnout. Yes, it can. And those look like very comfy seats, don't you think? Honestly, this car is nice with a little amount of horsepower. But with this much horsepower, it starts to get a little bit wobbly. Especially when you get up to speed like 50 miles an hour, because that's up to speed with this car. Come on, let me engage your stop gear. This is a fuel saving gear, and you can tell it, because you go from 5,000 almost 5,000 RPM, all the way down to 3,000 RPM. Still gaining speed. We're gaining. Yep. I don't think these roads, I think this roads would be more suited with a modern day sports car. Oh no, we're going 72 miles an hour, but now we're going 50. That's a, yeah. Now, because the fuel tank's in the front, let's see if this thing catches on fire in a frontal collision. Okay, so guardrail, meet front. And oh yes it did. And one more thing is, because this is caught on fire, you can see that the temperature of everything in the engine has gone up a little. So real quick, let's just go to fun stuff and extinguish it. And it's still quite hot. Let's let it cool off real quick. This engine is never going to start again, I just hope you know that. So we have 16% fuel left after that collision. So we're going to set that right there. And yeah, that's toasted. Never going to start again. Okay, we need to get our timing just right for this. Fun stuff. Fire. And then before it reaches 500 degrees, I'm going to drop it in the water. And plus after it reaches about 2. And plus, wait, does this even have coolant? Okay, drop it in there. Inside locking, yeah, I don't care. As long as it doesn't overheat. And I wonder if this is just kind of temperature of the engine, because I don't believe this really has coolant, does it? At least I don't think it does. I think it's air cooled. Now that we've cooled it off, I wonder if this thing will start. Set it here. Come on. Yes, it does. It just has some slight issues. Come on. Run. It's a little smoky. Now let's see how those brakes are doing. Yeah, they don't exist. Come on, go up the hill. Yeah, the brakes really don't exist right now. Come on, go. The only way to keep this car running is to floor it, basically. Okay. Okay, time to switch cars. The description of this one is model for the national, which would be the police in Italy. So let's button this thing up. And if you click in, you got your lights. But then if you want to actually do something, to be honest, it sounds more like a tornado siren. You know it's high quality when your whole door shakes. Okay, let's go up this little hill here. Come on, you little sporty thing. If you're, well, you're not sporty at all. Come on, well, I mean, it is sporty, it just doesn't have any power. If I had that siren going by my house any day of the week, I would go outside and shoot the policeman inside. There's where they're doing some road works. Don't crash. Let's see if I can make it around this corner. Yes. I lost the hubcap though. I'm not sure, it's a center cap, not a hubcap. Whatever. That's a wall, that's a wall, that's a wall! And I've gone through it. Okay, seriously, just shut up. But that actually does bring up the point. Could you actually chase someone in this thing if they had a vehicle from this time period? Okay, so now we need to find a car that is around the time period of this car. So we're gonna click on years right here, 1960. So there's that, and here would be the oldest car in BeamNG.Drive. And the thing is that this is a little tiny 4-cylinder A. It's a flat 4. And this is a big old American V8. And I think just to give us the most possible chance that we're actually going to do this, let's go with this one. And let's see, what's the color on this? So this is turquoise. Okay, let's go for the dual-matic, which means this has a 2-speed automatic transmission. More like a... yeah, it's not really an automatic. I think it's more of a slush-matic to me. Oh. Oh. Get your big, proud American ass out of there. Good car. That didn't sound too good. And this actually does give me a chance to test out something else. So let's look F10, which... please don't game crash. Okay, so let's click here. We're gonna script AI manager. Let's make this a little bigger. And watch this. So if, okay, so this is the one that we're using right now. Let's just click record. Oh, and so right now it's recording exactly what we're doing. So I'll be right back when I'm done doing this. Okay, so if I just reset this car right here, let's go to this car right here. Let's pre-have our stuff on here. Okay, so now that I've clicked this play button right here, and we're in this, let me show you the route that I've selected here. So, siren's on. Let's click F10 just so that my game's a little smoother. I shall catch you. Eventually. Although my steering really isn't all that centered. As you can see, I'm going straight and I'm able to go around that corner. Oh, and he's... I might be able to get him. I have like 60 horsepower, but I weigh about 1/10 as much as him. A brake check. No, yep. So, bastard. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. He's a big American car, and I'm this little tiny thing. Have you noticed how when he stops... oh, he's taken off. That's a big American V8 in there. Oh no, I hate these, because you go right up next to these and you feel like you're about to hit into them. Oh, yeah, see, look, he put tire marks down there. Oh, now he's opposite lane of traffic. Okay, we need to try to shut this guy down. I mean, it looks like we're gonna actually be shut down first. Look at our coolant temperature. I'm on his booty. Come on. Sure, get your booty! Haha. You have bias ply tires too, so you have no grip. I got you. Although, let's just shut our engine off and let it cool down a little bit. It's still increasing. Even though I've shut my engine off, the temperature is still increasing. Okay, so that's a win for Italy, a fail for America. And then if you want to see where he does go, you can see here, this is the rest of his route. I'll get back to this car. Remove others so that we can actually get some decent frame rate up in here. And let's go to the next one, which is this one, which is a premium model. Front disc brakes, a sport front sway bar, and larger wheels. Larger wheels means that it will take longer to go up to speed. Because if you think about all that's doing is just increasing the gear ratio, basically. But you can see it has a little bit different gauges, which I personally do like. And you can actually see when you're over revving if you're just looking at those gauges down there, instead of just having to guess. Oh Lord, that's a wall. Now let's go up this road right here. Am I still steering straight? No, I'm pulling to the right a little. Anyway, that's all this thing is. It's a little sporty thing. That's all that I can describe this one as. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is the same car called the B model. This is wider and staggered alloy rims. Staggered means there are different sizes, front and rear. Once again, let's just do a little burnout in this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's a little stupid car, so whatever. Let's see if I can make it around this corner up here and actually work. As it seems, yeah. I can actually go around the corner. Can you believe that? I'm an American that just went around a corner. Oh, but I've just completely screwed that one up. Oh, that didn't sound like that didn't sound like anything good just happened. Oh, just on top of a rock. Nothing major. Whatever, next car. This is a special factory build sold to private race teams. Now, what that means is that your back is going to absolutely get killed in this. Now, when I think of this, I kind of think of this as a mix between one of the old minis. When you look at the wheels and the way that it's kind of stanced and stuff, you kind of think of Mini. But then when you kind of look at the back of it, I think Herbie. Or VW Bug, whatever the crap you want to call it. I want to call it a Herbie. So this was one that was sold to just track teams, and you can clearly see that this has a stiff suspension. Oh yeah, there's no body roll in that. Until it rolls in a tree. I believe I've just, yeah, I've literally wrapped it around a tree. Does the engine still work? Heh heh. I mean, like, this is amazing. Next one, this was the Course Track. This is a factory-built race car with a roll cage and racing upgrades. Oh, now I'm thinking Fiat Abarth. One of the Abarth models, because they look exactly like that right there. And I've just thought it. Oh yeah, when you rev this thing, it revs to the moon, but listen. Just why? Oh, this is even stiffer. Oh, Lord. No, don't go down the... Oh, no. Brakes. Brakes. Full braking. And I've just slid it through a tree. To be honest, that's actually... Well, that's actually probably good, because that means that... What's wrong with it? Well, I still slid through the tree, which means I probably will get better frame rate. Because the tree isn't modeled. But anyway, why was it just having trouble taking off? It has no power when you take off. Either it has no power or I've severely broken everything. Let's see, so if I do that now, I just reset it. Now does it have power? No, it still has no power when you take off. This would be, the next one is going to be the 150 Course Rally. Factory built rally car with a roll cage and rally upgrades. Okay, so here's this car. And what you really notice is that the engine does shake around in there. But what I like to do a lot of the time with the engine, is to like screw at them and pull them around. So let's see what happens when you do that with this one. Let's actually increase the strength to 100. It hasn't broken yet. I have an idea. Go to the ground, and then if I grab the engineer. Ah. Come on. Go on your face. Go on your face. Good. It landed on his feet. Oh, well, there went the exhaust. So right now I have an engine which is basically sitting on the ground. Wait, I wonder what happens if I put it in reverse. Oh, that's great. Okay, now we have to race around in this thing. I'll be right back once we find a dirt road. And who needs dirt roads? I'm just gonna make my own road. Well, I've lowered the center of gravity effectively. I mean, besides the fact that your engine is slapping against the ground 24/7, this is a really nice car. Slight change. I think we may want to cool it down a little. Oh, yes. So let's see where the engine is sitting right now. It's right there. So if I just happen to reverse it, let's see if I just try to use a little tiny amount of power, it still just goes to the ground. Can I make it knock on the ground if I use fourth gear? Okay, and if I floor it on fourth gear? Okay, it's still there. Third gear. Second gear. All the way to the ground. Okay, let's see how this thing does. Yeah, I mean, your whole engine is dragging against the ground, but this is great. The thing that I can't get over about this car, you slap it in reverse, you do your J turn, and then it's just... Alright, so if we slap it in reverse to do a J turn, okay. And then you pump it back in drive. It just does that. I wonder how the drive shaft feels about that. Actually, no, wait, it doesn't have a drive shaft. It just has the transaxle. Oh, and yeah, we may want to stop doing that before it overheats, but... I believe what is happening right now is something very inappropriate. I can tell that Transaxle really likes this car. Okay, let's review the next car. Hopefully this one doesn't try to hump itself. This would be the Baja. Which the Baja is basically this one, it's just a little bit higher off the ground. Which also makes me think... And broken. Why does the engine brake on this one so easily? Oh. So right now I'm bending literally every part of this car. And let go. The rear suspension is never going to be the same again, nor is the thing holding the engine in. So, hello sign. God, I can just drive right through you. This has a much larger wheel. Now what I need to find is a dirt road that has a crap ton of bumps on it. I almost said butts. Don't know why a road would have butts on it. Wrong way. Who cares? Except for the people going the wrong way. I mean the right way. Okay, I found a great dirt road here. So, slap it in second gear. It really slapped because it didn't detect that I was pressing all the way on the clutch. Yeah. I'm like so glad that we can go through those signs. Right now, yeah, you have to have big, huge, hairy balls to drive this car in this sort of condition. Because that happens. Yeah. Okay, I decided to get the CTK for no real particular reason, and since we're on dirt, traction control off. Anyway, I wanted to do this road right before we ended this episode because I know this wasn't really a very... something has happened. Something very bad has happened. Yes, car, you live. Kind of. Anyway, so I was so rudely interrupted by my horrific driving. And, oh lord. That's a big jump. I think everything's still fine. So, hopefully you like this, and goodbye. God, car.